Hello. Load game. I don't remember what I did last, but I do remember something that happened when I was having dinner with my roommate a few days ago. He was like, so I watched one of your last videos. Where do you think that song came from? And I was like, 14. He was like, what? No. Where did it come from 14? And I was like, during Endwalker, dude. Ah, good times. Okay. I'm being too loud. He's sleeping right now. Not bad. It's like almost 2 in the morning. Anyway. So we're in this place, and I think I'm just, gonna explore and stuff. Our health and whatever is fine. Okay. Hello. This is Golgan Gulch. You should know that we Golgans are born sightless. However, we make up for our lack of vision with a sixth sense. Some of our kind can even see the future. Oh. We serve the wind crystal, a source of light that whose power has been bestowed upon you. Henceforth, you must go to the crystals of fire, water, and earth. They will grant you greater powers than you already possess. The great earthquake was only the beginning. The tremors tore the land asunder. The crystals, sources of the world's light, were swallowed into the depths as monsters emerged from the chasms now scarring the earth. Yet that was nothing compared to the catastrophe to come. I see a future of both light and darkness, but this is by no means set in stone. The living woods, the sentient forest calls you. Yeah, I went there. I see a future. Okay. We stay sequestered away in this gulch. For those who know the future should not dare to influence fate. I gotta Google that. When crimson flames threaten the tower's destruction, he who alters fate's course will awaken his destiny. I sense the fire crystal's power is centered on the island of the dwarves. I thought you guys weren't supposed to interfere. The earth's power sealed away the other 3 sources of light. The earth crystal may have been sealed in a similar fashion. Hold up. Define Gulch. A narrow and steep-sided ravine marking the course of a fast stream. It's one of those things where you gotta look at a picture. Ah, okay. It's formed by erosion. Alright, so it's like dirt. I'm in a mood. I'm eating, you know those Hello Pandas? You might hear this noise every now and then as I consume Hello Pandas. They're like these little chocolate biscuit things with pandas on them. Like panda cartoons. I've been expecting you. Take this spell and use it to enter the Tower of Owen to the north. Your destiny awaits you there, dashed. I see you, Toad. Okay. Like, who should learn it? Doesn't matter. Cynthia learn it. Oh. Oh, I can only... Okay, I can use it 3 times. So, I'll just use it when we need to. I haven't found any, like, elixir. Like, how do we re-up? Okay. Drink this water. No. Okay. I had some guides up. Let's take a look at this before we leave. There's 3 chests in here. Oh, bruh. Ice rod, fire rod. Ooh. Okay. Man, I've been all over the place. And it's like, it's too much to process, to articulate all my thoughts. And so I'm just gonna play the game. But, you know, eventually I might start talking about stuff. Where is the thing? Okay, yeah, I got the chest. And then maybe I'll have to do it like, because Cynthia only has 3 thingies to turn into a frog. How are people doing this? Like, I only have so much MP for it. You know? Like, Cynthia's only got 3. Is it one of those things where I can, like, click on all of us? Maybe. I'll check when I do that later. Man, we're fighting enemies? Okay. So, like, I'm still struggling with recovery stuff. I mean, it's like whatever. But yeah, I still get like fatigued every now and then. Okay, wait, is Tron still sleeping? Nice. Wait, yeah, wait. Cynthia, is this a thing where we can go like this? Hell yeah, okay, never mind. I can play. I know how to play the game. Someone's had sugar. Oh, this is the fairy place, right? Oh, it's a chocobo place. Oh, snap. Wait, this is my stuff. You guys want this? Actually, let's just take a chocobo. Yeah, so I've been checking my hormones, right? I think I mentioned that I've been keeping track of them. Is this a tower? What's this? Hello. This little typhoon thing? Oh yeah, it's Tower Owen. Okay. So you're saying we can't do stuff? Like we have to stay as toads? Anyway, I think I talked about my hormone thing. So like I'm definitely in one of those like days where the hormones shift and stuff. And yeah, I had hella bad moods today. What was up with that? So annoying. I'm like super ready to just go through menopause already, so I don't have to deal with any of this. And I know that menopause has its own like issues, but I'm gonna have to go through it anyway. I might as well just like, you know, I kind of wish I just wake up and tomorrow I already dealt with it. Or like, I don't have to experience it. Like it just, like we're good. Oh, maybe we become foxers. Yeah, okay. Is there anything to collect on this one? Okay, we'll just go. Whoa, that's so cute. I was gonna click print screen to take a picture, but actually, like, I'm recording this whole thing, and so footage is, say right. Something's telling me I gotta go to the Tower Owen. That's, if that guy's right about me, I mean, Destiny's waiting for me. Yeah, dude, that's where we're at. Are you like not paying attention? Alright, we're frogs now. Let's get going. Ooh. Do we stay frogs? Oh my god, so cute. Welcome to the Tower of Owen. I hope you like it here, for it shall be your final resting place. Who said that? This place looks familiar. Can I rotate who's in front? I kind of want to see the different colors. Okay. Hopefully we don't die here. Let's do a quick save. So cute. All right, let's see what the situation is. That's so cute. Are you standing? Are your fists up? That's so cute. This might take a while. Okay, maybe Cynthia, can we do all of us? Ooh, let's not waste it. Okay, I don't really wanna. Spend time doing like one attack at a time. So I'll switch us now. I think that's fine. What? Oh. Did I already tell the story of my new diagnosis? Oh shoot, I gotta heal my shoulder. Oh shoot! Dead. Oh shoot, I can't use any magic? This is good. Here. Yeah, there's a lot here. It's just like this long story. I don't know if I told it yet, but I'll tell it. Yeah, I'm here to tell stories. Wait, what's wrong with Trunks? Oh, maybe he's silenced. Is he silenced? Okay. There we go. Okay. Wait, I remember. I'm an ancient. Oh, like... Oh, spoilers. What's this? Ooh. Retro? No? Alright. I think maybe because I've told this story a lot, it's hard to... Also, when playing this game, it's so hard to stay focused. Your soul shall wander these sodden halls forever. Are you pushing me? I remember now, there's a hidden switch on the 5th floor. It's on the 8th section of the wall from the left. The 5th floor? 8th section? What floor are we on right now? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This. I don't know what floor we're on. 12. Anyway, so like before my surgery, if I already told this story, you'll hear it again. Before my surgery, I was going through like a bunch of thoughts and stuff about this and that. somewhat existential. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to find a therapist again and see if I can, you know, just have someone there in case some situations come up. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Okay. And like, I have had a horrible time trying to find a therapist like all my life. And so this was like a big deal. That like I found someone that I connected with. So like, okay, cool. After the surgery, we did talk about this and that, and then my recovery went pretty fine. And then so we just talked about other things. Long story short, eventually I took I was telling a story, and then my therapist was like, "Can I throw you a curveball?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." She was like, "Have you ever heard of how anxiety and like OCD are related?" And I was like, I mean, kind of, but not really, like, haven't really thought about it. And then, so then we just started talking about OCD and like different things about it, like, there's a thing called peer O, which means, some people don't like that term, but some people do use that term, and it's essentially, a lot of it is about the obsessions part rather than the compulsions part, but it actually is not a very good name because what it's actually referencing is people who have OCD but don't have physical compulsions. But technically, so they do, so everything is more like a mental thing, it's a cognitive thing. Like, it's a whole thing to explain. So society has this idea that OCD is about, oh, you like wash your hands a lot or you clean a bunch of things. And it's more complex than that. But if we use that example, just to simplify it, then it would be someone who does not need to clean their hands all the time or like wash things all the time, but they have like cognitive things they do, like mental things they do, mental rituals and stuff. And so let's say someone who has to wash their hands all the time because they don't want to be dirty, someone else who has like peer O might wait. Okay. Maybe I should have just done through like that. I don't know if that was a good cure sesh. So someone with peer O who doesn't necessarily need to wash their hands all the time, like in real life, might think things like, I'm a good person, I am clean, I am like, I've done good things in my life. Like that ritual is it's considered a mental ritual. And like, whereas hand washing repetitively is more like a physical ritual. And so there are people with OCD that have it as just cognitive things, so people can't visually see that you have issues with OCD. And so, I read a bit about it, and eventually that led to me taking an OCD assessment, and it took like 2 weeks to do because it was a really long assessment. And at the end of it, my therapist is like, so where do you think you're at, from mild, moderate, or severe? I was like, I mean, at the start I probably would have been like mild, but after doing this whole thing, probably like moderate, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was severe. And she was like, okay, thank you, you're on the extreme end. And I was like, what? I didn't realize that was an option. And okay, wait, let me finish this story before I start talking to this lady. Yeah, and so I was just like, oh, okay, cool, what should we do about it now? And so then, we talked about the different treatments and blah, 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 blah. And it was weird to me because I was like, if I'm on the extreme end, why don't I feel like negative or bad about it? I mean, I got my issues, but when I read about people who have like severe OCD and now extreme OCD, it sounds like it's very debilitating. And so I didn't really understand. I was like, for the most part, I feel like I'm doing well, like yeah, I encounter issues and then I kind of just handle it, right? You know, isn't that what people do? But at the same time, I wasn't denying the diagnosis or anything. I was more just like curious, like how that actually factored to be. And I was like, is this assessment really like legit? Like, because it sounds like a lot of it's this personal like anecdotes and not really blah 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 blah, right? But after like a month of like doing research and working on this workbook and talking through all this stuff, I slowly just like started discovering, oh shit, this thing does affect me all the time. It was like one of the questions in the assessment was like, how much time do you spend on your OCD rituals? So rituals are what people do to make themselves feel better. And so it's like if you have an obsessive thought and you want it to go away, but you can't get it to go away, but doing something usually relieves you of that, such as washing your hands or counting how many steps, whatever, or this or that. There's a bunch of different types of rituals people do to kind of soothe themselves temporarily. And so this question is asking, how much time do you spend doing those things? And it's like 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever. And when I got to that question, I was like, I don't know, I don't really think I do this, like, but I didn't know that much about it. But after hearing that I was on the extreme end and like doing more critical thinking about it, I realized that it's like every 15-20 minutes I'm doing a ritual. I don't even realize it because my OCD is so severe, well, technically extreme, that it's woven into my thought processes to the point where it's very much tied to the way that I think and function. It's just normal to me. And like for so many years I've always been like, man, there's something stopping me from doing some of these things that I want to do. And then I learned about my autism and I'm like, oh shit, this is kind of okay, I'll just work on some of my autism skills that I need to develop. And then I was like, something's still stopping me from achieving some of my goals. Oh shoot, dang man, I got ADHD too. Okay, I'll work on those skills. But then even then there was still other stuff, and I was like, okay, I worked on the depression, I worked on the anxiety, I worked on the autism, I worked on the ADHD, I worked on the dyscalculia, like there's still something else. And then so now I finally learned there's this OCD stuff, and this comes up every 15 minutes. Dang, no wonder it's affecting my life, and no wonder I got this like extreme category. It's more like a scale of like how debilitating it affects your life. And so if you go through treatment and recovery, then you can move down the scale. Technically, from what I've read, you can't really cure OCD once you like get it, but you can learn to manage it to the point where it doesn't take over your whole life. And so there are people who go from the extreme end down to the mild end. And so for me, I feel like I've done so much work on myself like my whole life, and especially these past few years, that I'm pretty sure if I had done this assessment like 3-4 years ago, like before my autism diagnosis, I probably would have been on the even higher end of the extreme one. I'm borderline extreme, so you know, if that matters. And just yeah, it's been very illuminating, and it's been very tiring to like think all these things and realize that actually, because I don't have physical compulsions, it's a lot harder for me to know if I'm going through a ritual or not. And so it's like really changing my mindset about like who I know myself to be versus who I am when I'm acting on my compulsions. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, bruh. It's very complex and complicating to sort out and then also articulate. But I find it very interesting, and it is a very it's a fascinating topic because I'm very interested in like human psyche and like the way people what drives people to do things through motivation or just like built thought patterns and all this stuff. And so now I'm just like dissecting the way that I think, and it's like it's a lot. The treatment is also very difficult, but has a lot of scientifically proven trials and blah 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 blah. Like it works for a lot of people. It's basically exposure therapy for stuff. Anyway, it's the whole thing. And I just want to say that, yeah, I'm like, when I found out about it, I was like, oh, okay, all right, sure, fine. Let me just like take care of this OCD thing, and then I'll continue with my life, you know, because it was like pretty shortly after the surgery stuff. Because I had the surgery, and then I was recovering from surgery for like 2 months, and I was just like physically unable to do things, having issues eating, being fatigued, whatever. And then I was finally starting to feel a bit better, and then I was like, okay, what's my next project? Okay, I guess it's OCD, so that's my current project. Trying to sort all this out so that I can, you know, continue my life and all that stuff. There's so many other things I want to say about it, but let's move on. Let's just talk to this lady. I, Medusa, will destroy this tower in the name of Zanji. The continent will plummet from its place in the skies. Hehehe. You will not interfere. Now die. Okay. Oh, okay, lady. Wait. Oh, my cat's here. She might jump up. I've got to protect the keyboard so it doesn't stop the recording like last time. Okay. Oh shoot, maybe I should have healed before. Anyway, so yeah, in OCD, there's like a lot of different themes and stuff that people kind of obsess over, and oh shoot, I can't do no more magic. Seriously, where are the aethers at? Wait, let me back it up. So OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder, and maybe I'll spot heal. And a lot of people experience it, you know, in different ways, in that everyone has different triggers. However, the overall pattern of like obsessing over something and then doing a ritual is common enough, and so we'll kind of discuss it in that way. And so typically what happens is someone gets triggered by something, and then their mind will obsess over it. They'll have so there's a trigger, and then an intrusive thought will occur, and then the person with OCD, their mind will like latch onto it, and they'll keep thinking about this intrusive thought obsessively. Like, the thing is, oh shoot, yeah, I did it. Intrusive thoughts happen all the time. Like everybody, even people without OCD, get intrusive thoughts all the time. And people without OCD are more able to ignore those intrusive thoughts when it's just like, oh, why did I think about that? Like, for example, if you're just walking down the street and all of a sudden you remember like some bagel that you ate when you were in high school, it's like, oh, it was random, okay, whatever. and then you move on. You just think about something else. But someone with OCD might encounter that same thought and be like, oh my god, that bagel was, you know, from this one place, and at that place this thing happened, blah, 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 blah. I can never eat bagels again, blah, blah, blah. I can never walk this block again because it's going to remind me of the bagel, and I was, so then they avoid walking this street because it reminds them of bagels from this one time period of this and this and this. And so that's like really exaggerated, but like that's how very quickly it can turn. Like someone can get very triggered by something, and then the OCD mind can like really bring it to the extremes, and then they have to do whatever to feel better because there's all this anxiety now. And so some people literally just avoid places or people or things. They avoid their triggers. Or some people like have to do certain rituals, like whenever I see a bagel, I need to like wash my hands because like bagels are dirty and they get crumbs everywhere, and there's cream cheese and it's gross and blah 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 blah. And like it would just turn into all these things. I don't have anything against bagels, I'm just using an example, but like that's kind of the thing. Like something that most people might be fine with and they're just like whatever about, and they can move on from, but people with OCD can't easily move on from certain thoughts, especially thoughts that are triggering, that trigger them to want to do a ritual, a compulsion that turns into this repetitive thingy that you do to feel better about stuff. It's the whole thing. I'm getting distracted. I really like talking about this, so because I'm really interested in the mind and stuff like that, but this doesn't have to turn into an OCD session. Let's keep playing. The flames lick and flare wildly. An explosion looks imminent. No, don't go near it. I remember now. I'm one of the remaining ancients, the watchman of this tower. I was only supposed to awaken if something happened to the tower, but I was asleep for so long, my memories are scrambled. When I woke up, I forgot my purpose. This doesn't look good. I think I know how to stabilize the flames, but I can only do it from inside the reactor. I have no choice. The tower is the only thing keeping the continent afloat. If it blows, we'll fall right out of the sky. This is farewell. Thanks for all your help. Stop, you'll die. This is my destiny. Don't worry. Once I repair the furnace, that whirlpool should stop as well. Then you can search for the Dwarven Island. That's where you'll find the fire crystal. Once I'm in, I'll warp you all outside. It's been a blast, literally. Now then, here we go. Dash. Is that how you say it? Dash? A watchman's duty prevented the destruction of Tower of Olm. Wait. Yeah, wait, yeah. We prevented it. So, it's here. Okay, so I can go across now? Okay, so we did that. Nice. Let's see what else is there. Oh yeah, wait, I got a ship. Let's go back to the ship. Yeah, so with OCD treatment, typically people will do exposure therapy, which is kind of funny because when I first heard about it, I read about it first. The acronym for it is ERP, And if you know anything about Final Fantasy XIV, they're all about ERP. Well, some people. And so I was like, wait, I have to do ERP to recover from my OCD. I'm so immature. Okay, anyway. This channel is not necessarily family friendly, but it's also not family friendly, so I'll just, you know, we'll just leave it at that. If you want to know, you can go look it up yourself. But in terms of OCD treatment, ORP stands for exposure response prevention. And so essentially you expose yourself to the trigger. Well, for the example that I've already given, it would be like the bagel. And when you start feeling uncomfortable and you start thinking those like kind of uncomfortable thoughts about the bagel and how like messy it is, and oh wait, I should heal. Yeah, I should. Maybe the doors have a place I can heal. Oh, okay, I'll go check. So you expose yourself to the trigger, and like ideally your therapist or wherever you're learning this from, like you'll have developed tools and better strategies on how to handle the anxiety or bad feelings that come up. And essentially it's all about just feeling bad, basically. Like you just let yourself feel the uncomfortable feelings to get used to feeling the uncomfortable feelings and know that you can still continue your life even though this thing's uncomfortable. Because really what OCD is saying is there is a threat here. This bagel is threatening my life because it triggers your stress response, your flight or fight response. And so because of that, yeah, this bagel is like the most threatening thing and I need to do something to feel better or like get rid of this situation. And so I'll just avoid ever going here. Like that's one way. And that's what becomes debilitating. So what that turns into is, okay, I need to sit with this bagel and feel uncomfortable, but realize that it's been 5 minutes and the bagel hasn't like ruined my life. And that's okay. And then naturally the body will become used to it. It will become used to the trigger. And then you realize you're safe, you're fine. And like, in essence, that's what it is. That's basically. Lolly ho! Yeah, that's what the doors in 14 say too. And there's the lolly ho, like there's like the dance and stuff. Oh shoot, is this a heal thing? Can I talk to? Oh, dang it. Oh, so that's what an invisible barrier looks like. Dang it. Oh, there's an inn up there. That horrible villain Gustko took one of our horns of ice. He ran off to the subterranean lake, but the doors don't float. How are we supposed to get our treasures back? Sounds like you guys want me to go get it. How could you let him get away? You gotta get that horn back from the thief. I just met you. I don't know who you are. Do you know where the village of Gishaw is? That's the stuff that the chocobos eat. Well, I'll tell you, it's across the outer sea, far, far to the east. Okay. Wait, I would feel more comfortable if I could heal first. Hello. Yes. So yeah, with exposure therapy, it can be very difficult though, because you're basically putting yourself in a situation where you trigger yourself. So it's a lot better to do with someone who you can trust, like a therapist, if you can find a therapist you trust. But I know how difficult that is. Like, I've spent more like 2 decades trying to find a therapist for myself. This is the first time I've found one that I could work with for more than like a few sessions. There used to be a shimmering glass tower up in the northern mountains, but after the earthquake it disappeared. Now there's just a cave in its place. Okay. But yeah, some people, actually a lot of people, end up taking medication to help a situation. Should I buy this? We don't have that much money. Okay. Two things. Oh, I already had a Salaman sword. Okay, good. Good thing I didn't buy one. Let me sell some of this stuff, dude. Yeah, apparently the bread shows you the map and it doesn't matter because we have the pixel remaster, you know what I'm saying? It already shows us maps. Okay, I got some more money. Alright, well, let's see. Ooh. Yeah, we'll just get another this. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of people end up taking medication to kind of help, like, calm some of the bad feelings that come up. Dude, could I have just... Ooh. I thought that was gonna be one of those healing things. Okay, let's see what the other stairs do. Yeah, like when you're exposing yourself to like all sorts of things. Oh wait, maybe this is the revive. You know in Pokemon, they have like the Pokemon that can use the move strength. It's like that. Yeah, so with the thingy, when you're exposing yourself to stuff, you feel bad and you can take medication to kind of alleviate some of that. And so some people will go on medication to kind of help with the therapy so they don't feel like absolutely horrible all the time. But some people will not do that because they'll be like, oh, but if you don't understand how bad this makes you feel, it might not be as good enough of a treatment. Because if you're just like, yeah, hiding some of the pain and discomfort, you won't recognize it later. It's the whole thing. So some therapists do this, some therapists do that, depending on the patient itself. For me, I'm so sensitive to medications in general, and my body's still going through recovery from the surgery and stuff, that I was like, no, I'm just gonna... But I just said this is supposed to be like a nice place. But the phrase raw dog just came into mind. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna do this like with my own capabilities, and I don't want to take medication. I don't think it's right for me right now. So yeah, we're just like, if it gets too much, I'll just say it, and then we'll just like ease off on these triggers. Because, oh shoot, I didn't change this black. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's really just based off of like being able to handle all the emotions that come up. And so for me, I'm just like, yeah, I'll just choose different things to talk about that aren't as triggering. And so it's kind kind of what I've been going through. I just feel bad, and I'm just like, ooh, it's good to feel bad because that means I'm doing exposure therapy and I'm getting used to it, but dang, does it suck to feel bad. So yeah, it's very tiring, you know? There's a lot going on. I've been sad and like upset and just going through stuff, and I can recognize how quickly my mind wants to reassure myself. No, everything's fine. Let's go do this, and like distract myself. And I'd be like, nah, dude, you're supposed to just feel bad right now. And I mean, it sounds pretty counterintuitive to just say go feel bad, but like that's actually what I gotta do so that I can like increase my distress tolerance. That's what they call it. Like I can't handle feeling bad, and therefore I need to learn how to handle feeling bad. Something like that. These grapes. What I find fascinating about it is that learning about all this helps me better understand and explain things that I have thought for a while that I haven't been able to explain. For example, I have a lot of hobbies, you know, and I was like, oh, it's my ADHD and my hyperfixations and my autism special interest that gives me a lot of hobbies. Cool. But then it's like, how come I don't feel good when I finish projects? It's like, what? And it's like, oh, well, maybe it's the, you know, it's also ADHD and how like you run out of dopamine once you finish something and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, maybe. But it feels like there's something more going on there. It's like other people, you know, admire my work and they give me praise and all that stuff, but I don't feel good about it. Since I was younger, I would say things like, I just made that because I was trying to deal with something. It was like a defense mechanism. It was a coping mechanism. I just did it because I taught myself programming because I was sad and upset and lonely, and I just wanted to fill the time with something, so I just happened to learn how to program, and then it turned into like a useful skill, and then I, you know, got work out of it. But I don't feel proud of that. Or even like when I've done things like made music, people would be like, wow, that's so cool, you're so creative, and blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, thanks, I was just trying to express myself because I was not feeling well. But your song's so funny, it's so upbeat, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's how I wish I would. You know, it's kind of like people wanted to be so positive all the time and like compliment me and praise me, but what I actually needed, what would have been that, oh dang, that's like a marble breath situation. Okay, Cynthia, you got a whole situation going on here. Is there something that will take away everything? Oh man. Okay, well that's this. And this. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're using everything. Do I have the blindness one? Yeah, wow. Good thing we had a bunch of random stuff. Okay, and then maybe we'll just use a potion. Y'all want potions? Alright, whatever. But yeah, for like the majority of my adult life, for instance, I've done so many things where I just haven't been able to feel proud of myself. And I know part of that's also like my trauma of not being supported as a kid and not knowing how to like build up my self-esteem and self-confidence and blah blah blah, and not knowing how to take compliments. Well, and it's like, yeah, okay, I worked on it. But it's like after so long, it's like, what am I missing? There's something missing. And so I found out it's my OCD. Some of these things that I've been doing are because they're my rituals. They're my compulsive rituals. Because I was doing it so I didn't have to feel bad about something that triggered me. And my way of dealing with things happens to just be what they call egocentric. egocentric means this thing that happens a lot, but it aligns with your personal values. It follows what you want to do and be in your life. And ego dystonic means that it goes against your values. It's not what you want to do. And so, like, for me, I really do value knowledge and learning and intellect and growth and stuff. And so my rituals, my compulsive actions, my way of coping, my way of reassuring myself that I'm a good person, that I'm safe, that I am, like, just not in a bad situation, is researching. I research so much. I learn so much. I gather information to reassure myself that everything is fine. And what that translates into is I have a lot of knowledge about all sorts of random things for potential, like, emergency situations that I'm likely never going to get myself into, but I have all this information now. And so to other people it seems like, wow, she's just so well-rounded, she can do all this stuff, oh, she can always help, she's good at this and that. But that also then turns into feeling like people are using me all the time, because I'm just like, why do I have to do all this stuff for everyone all the time just because I am good at it? Like, how come they don't ask somebody else to do this stuff? And then that turns into resentment. So you can kind of see how, like, all these different things that kind of started from, like, my OCD ripples out into other areas of my life. Now it turns into, I have difficulties with my social endeavors because I unknowingly put myself in a position where people see me in a certain way that isn't in line with who I see myself as. I wrote this fun, silly song because I was trying to make myself feel better because I was feeling bad. But other people see it as, oh, she made this fun, silly song to share with other people to make other people happy. It's a little opposite, And then it's like, I learned all about emergency safety because I'm worried that if I accidentally leave the stove on, I'm gonna burn the whole city down. When other people might see it as, wow, she learned all this emergency stuff because she's such a good, like, caregiver. She's so, like, caring and wants to take care of everybody, and just, wow, she's so good at this. She should be the person to take responsibility for all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And then that turns into a whole thing where it's just like, dude, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't cause the world to burn down on accident, okay? And so it's like, they're different areas of things, and the differences is what has caused me to be confused, because I'm also autistic, you know what I'm saying? So I don't read social situations very well. And so it took a very long time to extrapolate all these things. And now that I have this piece, this OCD missing piece that has been following me basically my whole life, I better understand how much the OCD has affected me compared to, like, these other things. The autism, the ADHD, the depression, the childhood trauma, the blah, 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 blah. All those things definitely affected me, but the OCD is just like, I've been calling it like a boost button. Like, all these different things that I do in my life, all these other characteristics I have that I've kind of extrapolated and compartmentalized to help better express myself and my thoughts, they all have like a boost button. And so it's like, oh, this thing is sticky. And then OCD is like, bam, boost, NOS, get the nitros in there. Wow, this thing is so sticky, it's gonna cause me to, like, like, have an allergic reaction everywhere. I need to wash my hands, and so I don't have the whole hand washing thing necessarily, but, like, if I did, that's kind of where it would be. For me, what it really turned into is, this thing is sticky, and in my mind, I will think, I'm so uncomfortable, this is going to turn into, like, a disaster situation where this and this happens. But in reality, if you're just looking at me, I'm just looking at my hand, like, this sticky thing, and it's like, oh, whatever. But in my mind, I'm catastrophizing. And in my mind, I'm trying to reassure myself, and I'm just like, well, technically, the sticky stuff is just the viscosity of blah blah blah, which reminds me of this and this and this and this, and therefore, from this chemical reaction of this and this. But again, I'm just standing there staring at my hands, you know. But in my mind, I'm so triggered. I'm going through a stress response, and overall, we're gonna tie things together. If I'm going through this every 15 minutes in my head, no wonder I'm so stressed out. No wonder, like, I got so many health problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, being autistic is stressful. Having ADHD is stressful. Having the autism and the ADHD together is stressful. Having OCD is stressful. Having all this stuff is so stressful. Combining all that together is so stressful. And my theory on why I got that rare gallbladder condition was tied to my hormones and stress, like the stress hormone, like cortisol, and how that affects blah 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 with like estrogen and progesterone and blah blah blah, and like with too much stress and blah blah. And so even though I've done a lot to try to alleviate my stress over the years, like blah blah, you know, things happen. I found out it was too late for my gallbladder, had to take it out. But even afterwards, I do feel better, still going through recovery, but I'm still left with some stuff that stressed me out. And now I know, oh shit, it's the OCD that stresses me out. And so if I alleviate the OCD stress, can I finally do the things I want to do in my life? Oh god. Okay, let's see. Gusco, Arg, stay back. Get away from the horn if you want to keep living. When will Cynthia learn like protect or something, you know? Anyway, so like there's a bunch of different themes. Man, I'm hella just monologuing. There's a bunch of themes with OCD, and a lot of the common ones are usually given like a little acronym, like a name, just so people in the community can talk about it together a bit easier. The treatment's all the same, pretty much, but like just kind of grouping things, giving labels. Like labels help us discuss ideas. That's the way I think of labels. And so it's like, I don't think people should use labels to justify their personality or make it their whole personality. I think labels can be used to discuss certain aspects of ourselves, but it's kind of tricky if like this is like the only thing you have going for you, you know what I'm saying? Like people are complex. And so, yeah, I preface that because some of this stuff can get tricky when you're talking about like themes and like how much it affects a person. Oh shoot, Cynthia. Wait, I should focus. Like, I don't want Cynthia to die. Cynthia, cure yourself, please. No! Oh my goodness. Bro. Okay. Okay, if you attack, you also attack. I'm gonna have Trunks. We're gonna do a Phoenix down. I was thinking I could have someone else do a Phoenix down and then Trunks can heal, but if Trunks goes first and then Cynthia's still dead and can't get healed, it's a whole thing. Holy moly. hold up. Cynthia, can you cure yourself? I think I'm gonna have Trunks also do that. Bro! The heck? Okay, yeah, go away. Dude, that was so targeted. Dang it, that happened again. Cynthia didn't get experience for that. Oh, it looked like we put it in our pocket. Oh no, it was just... Wait. Oh. 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 I thought it... I was like, did we put it in our pocket? And then I was like, oh, maybe it's just the... this thing. But actually, they're just following us. Okay. Let's bring back something. Okay, I'll just bring this back to the doors. Are there gonna be any, like, special rooms I gotta deal with? Hopefully not. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so there's like different themes. So some people, like the more common one, for example, would be contamination OCD. People who obsess over things that are dirty. And the rituals that come out of that would be, oh, if I'm obsessed about thinking about things getting dirty, the dirtiness can turn into, oh, like me getting sick. Or catching a disease, and then that can turn into other things like well, different themes can like combine together. So there's contamination, which is like something's dirty, and then there's harm, OCD, where like you don't want to get hurt, and that can be like physically getting hurt, and then there's also accidentally hurting other people, or it can also be things like emotional harm, like negativity. Yeah, that. Oh, it is bad breath. Dang. The marble move, the blue mage OP move. Yeah, so like the contamination OCD can turn into, oh no, I got this dirty stuff on me, and then it turns into harm OCD, where it's like, oh man, I'm gonna get sick, and this is gonna injure me in some way, blah blah blah. And then, oh no, I can't like hang out with my roommate because I'm gonna get him sick, and I don't want him to get sick. Like I gotta make sure I'm clean. So then that turns into responsibility OCD of like, I'm responsible for making sure I take care of everyone and make sure that they're healthy, and so there's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot of connections from one theme to another, and so it is very complex. And so that's why, like, I don't think that it's good to wait. Where's the one that unshrinks? Wait, is Cynthia has... There we go. So yeah, that's why I don't think it's good to only use like a certain label for this or that, because they're all pretty much connected. But splitting it up into kind of different chunks does make it a little bit easier to talk about. Like, oh, I go from this theme to this theme to this theme. And when I'm in this theme, I usually do rituals like this and so on. So like for me, I've determined that like I don't have a lot of like physical themes necessarily. They're mental, and I also don't have physical compulsions. They're usually mental compulsions. And so like I don't really care if I step in mud, for example. But the idea of stepping in mud can trigger me. Like the idea of going somewhere and getting dirty can trigger me. So that's contamination. But then also the idea of being somewhere where people are yelling, like people are negative and people are like arguing and like all this stuff, that can also be considered contamination to me because it's emotional contamination. It's like a mental thing. And so then I'm just like, well, I don't want to be contaminated emotionally. I don't want to feel negative vibes. And so then like those two things kind of morph into each other, right? Like I don't want to be contaminated by negative vibes because I don't want to feel negative myself, and I don't want to feel negative because I don't want to do harm to other people if I'm a negative person, if I act on that negativity. And then what? Well, why? Because I don't want to harm other people because that's bad. And I also want to make sure everyone feels safe, so that then cycles into my responsibility one. Therefore, I should never be around confrontations or like people yelling or negative vibes, because I don't want to turn into a negative person who does harm to other people, because it's my responsibility to make sure everyone else is safe. So there's a lot of like extreme kind of thinking here, right? I'm really extrapolating a lot of stuff from just like, I don't know, someone yelling for a taxi. And so that turns into, I might not hang out in places where people are calling for taxis. Like New York, for example, is very overstimulating. But if I had to expose myself to that, I could, you know, go somewhere. I don't have to actually go to New York, but like go somewhere where people are yelling for taxis. The act of yelling itself is a trigger. And so if I stand next to people yelling for taxis and I realize it's actually fine, I'm not going to put anyone in harm's way by just standing there, then maybe it's okay. So that's kind of what it would look like for me to go through like that specific exposure therapy thing. This is the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I have the contamination OCD, but it's like the emotional, the mental one, harm OCD. So I'm afraid of like harming people. It also explains how like there's one that's violence and harm are also, you know, kind of similar. Wait, try it. Here you go. It's our horn, you're the best. Now put it back where it belongs. Yeah, okay. Hang on, I'll take down the ward. When I first started playing Final Fantasy XIV, I was like, oh, is this where the Horn of Ice goes? Yeah, just put her down. We're up at the canoe there. Oh, fools, you didn't even notice me hiding in your shadows. Now both horns are mine for the taking. Uh-oh. Oh, good thing I slept and did that. Did I also save? Oh no! With both horns of ice in my possession, I can extinguish any flame. The tunnel to the crystal possesses no obstacle to me. The power of the fire crystal belongs to me. Okay, my bad. I was so busy telling my story, I'm so sorry. I bet that lowlife is headed to the mountains north. Please, you gotta go get those horns back. Yeah, I'll go. Now, wait, Wait, you were blaming me for letting the thief get. Were you predicting the future before? Okay, okay. Okay, wait, let me buy some stuff. Hang on. Do I need to talk to all of them? Yeah, okay. Which one's this stuff? That's the inn. Okay, my bad, you guys, my bad. I just get so into my stories, okay? I know it wasn't my fault, it was just part of the game. Antidotes. Let's get a few more of those. Yeah. That should be fine. So yeah, I've got like the violence OCD too, where I obsess over violence. And by obsess over violence, I mean I don't like violence, like at all. And obsess isn't the way that other people would talk about it, right? So some people are just like, oh my god, I'm so obsessed with like Pokemon. Like I play all the Pokemon games. I collect the cards. I play this and that. I go to the tournaments, all these things. And it's like, that's different. Like you're obsessed in like a good way. It's like you want to do this, you like this thing. For people with OCD, the obsessions are things they don't like, but they can't stop thinking about them. They can't let it go. And so for me, my OCD is obsessed with would be obsessed with violence. So if I see a violent act, I would have a hard time ignoring it or letting it go. And so I actively try to ignore it in general, and then that turns into having to do compulsions and rituals and stuff like that. And so it explains why, like, when I first started playing 14, I had such a hard time playing it because I was like, I don't want to fight stuff. I don't want to kill things. And the only way I could like get through it, because I wanted to be a tailor, I wanted to be a weaver. The only way I could really get through it was just like, oh, the monsters are just going to the break room. They're not actually dead. Even though like logically I knew as a video game, like I would still, you know, anthropomorphize and imagine, is this doing damage to us at all? It doesn't seem like it. I would expect that it would take our health, but it doesn't seem like it. Yeah, and so I'd come up with like all these like mental rituals basically to reassure myself that it's okay. Oh, I'm not fighting this boss to kill them. They're also gonna go back to the break room and all this. And like in Pokemon, it's like the Pokemon faint, and so that was a little bit easier for me. But then knowing that some of the Pokemon actually died, spoilers, and there's like a cemetery and all that stuff, I was like, oh, but how many times do you faint before you die? And I would like get stressed out. And so it was really hard for me to do that stuff. Like even like in Stardew Valley, I was like, can I go to the mines? I don't want to kill monsters. But then I was like fine with it. Like I reassured myself somehow. And so yeah, it's like affected me a lot. Like even now, like I still really don't like playing shooting games, for example. Like it feels too violent for me. And you know, a lot of people are just like, yeah, I don't like violent stuff either. But to me, it's just like, I really can't be near that stuff or else I get very uncomfortable. And now I know why. Like, even though in my mind I'm just like, it's just a game, my OCD turned it into this whole situation. So that's what I'm trying to work on. Like, not beating myself over all of this so much. Just feeling bad to expose myself and realize just because I play one video game where I'm like slashing some monsters, I'm not gonna be the reason why the world ends. It's okay, you know? It's a whole thing. there are some people who develop OCD after specific events. It's like later in life. It's not like they were born with it or anything. That's a whole topic in itself, like whether you're born with it or whether you're just you have predisposition for it, like genetics for it, and then things in the environment like trigger it. I think there's a lot of studies that kind of that go over that kind of thing, which I'm trying not to get into because that would be me researching too much into it instead of just doing the stuff. It's a whole thing. So I'm trying to just focus on the treatment part right now instead of getting all up in like everything like I usually would. But yeah, so let's just say there are some people who have had OCD since they were children, and I believe I was one of those people. I just didn't know it because it was a mental thing and not a physical thing. Actually, when I was younger, I do recall like I did have some physical compulsions that then turned into just mental compulsions, but that's a different story. A story for another time. Wait a minute. Where are we supposed to go? But yeah, so some people can develop it when they're adults, like something very traumatic can happen. And yeah, it really sucks because once you triggered it, it is very difficult to like stop it because then you'll just have it for the rest of your life. But if you figure out how to manage it, then it can, not affect your life so much. Modern society though is so stressful, and so I'm not surprised that so many people have this. Okay, hello. Yeah, so I also have, like, I've always known that I'm a perfectionist, and I don't like it. It stresses me out a lot, but I don't know how to stop. And I know that a lot of it comes from, like, my childhood upbringing. And I thought I kind of dealt with a lot of it already, but clearly there was some stuff left over, and I think it's because of my OCD. And so I've been trying to sort that out. That was actually what triggered my therapist to throw me that curveball about it when I was like kind of really digging into like my perfectionism, my thoughts on it, and like things that happened. And the perfectionism kind of ties together with the responsibility OCD. And now I better understand how, like, a year ago I was doing the steno stuff and I got obsessed with learning the year 3 or part 3, book 3, something 3, like the third part of the steno stuff I was doing. And or maybe it was the second one, I don't remember, but it was like the end of this book thing I was doing for the stenography. And I did all of it really quickly, either like within a month or a few weeks or something. And I was like, man, this was supposed to take like a few months, but I did it all like so quickly. I thought I would feel better about it, but I actually feel really bad. And I don't know why I did that. And then shortly after that, like, I learned French. I did like a year's worth of high school French in a few weeks or something. And I was like, I wish I could stop, but I can't stop. I need to do this. I have to do this. And I was like, what the heck? And I kept pushing myself. And then shortly after that, I did the CS50 thing from Harvard. I think it was Harvard. And I did like, they had like weeks. Each video was like a week or something. And I was doing a week's worth of stuff in like a day. And I kept pushing myself. And I was like, dude, you have a whole week. If anything, no one's grading you. Like, just take as long as you need. Some people will take like a whole month to do like the first week, like whatever. And why do you have to do it in a day? And I was like asking myself all these questions, and I couldn't understand. I couldn't stop myself. And now I understand it as my perfectionism and my OCD was churning. And it was just like, you have to do this or else you're a bad person. You have to do this or else you're dumb. You have to do this because this, and this. And therefore just keep learning, learn more. And then I kept burning out because I was like, I have the capacity to learn a lot in a short amount of time. But if I don't take a break or stop at all, I'm going to burn out. And like, I logically knew that, but I couldn't stop myself. And I was like, why can't I stop myself? What's going on? And now I know I couldn't stop myself because my OCD was out of control. I did not realize that those thoughts were in a loop. It was in a negative feedback loop constantly. And I couldn't stop until either I burned out or I finished the task. And at that point, there's no enjoyment. Because I wasn't doing it out of enjoyment. I was doing it because I felt like I had to. And so it was the whole thing. And so now that I know that, I'm just like, okay. I gotta, one, learn how to be okay with being uncomfortable, and learn how to actually take breaks, and then learn to know when to just stop for a while and be okay with that. Sitting with the discomfort, being like, okay, I already worked for an hour, I'm gonna take a break. No, feel bad. You're a bad person. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, I'll be a bad person while I have a snack, whatever. You know, that's the type of thing that I'm trying to learn how to do. It's like, I know better because I'm an adult. I'm mature. And now I know that there's a subsection of me, my OCD, that was trying to protect me when I was younger. And it was in overdrive. And it's been in overdrive. But now it's like, it's okay. We don't need to be in overdrive. We can calm down. It's okay. We'll just feel the feelings and then move on and do some stuff. It's okay. It's all good, man. It's all good. So yeah, it's tiring. I'm tired. But also, like, genuinely, I still do really like learning and sharing ideas and all this stuff, which is why I have energy and like passion when I talk about these things that make me feel bad, you know, like objectively I can talk about how very interesting it is, and I find a lot of value in that. That's what I like about myself, I guess. That's what I like about my whole situation. I was able to navigate all of it, all of these difficult things in my life, but still come out of it being optimistic in a way. I think sometimes I do feel like I'm a negative, pessimistic person. I have a very dry sense of humor. I'm a bit sarcastic, you know. I'm not like super peppy and like cheerful all the time, and so in that way I feel like I'm not optimistic, or people will be like, might think that I'm a negative person, but actually I think I am very optimistic. I think it just comes out in a different way because I care a lot about growth. And I think caring about growth is pointing towards optimism. But I'm a realist, and so the way I express myself sounds like I'm a pessimist. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole thing. Okay, let's fight this guy again. Girl? Person? Demon person? I'm not really paying attention, honestly. I've been like so engrossed in my stories. Ha ha ha. With the power of the fire crystal coursing through me, I'm unstoppable. Thing is, I can't tap into the true power of these flames so long as you goodies stand in my way. Nothing personal, but this is where you meet your maker. Crystal attacked the formidable power of the fire crystal. Attacked with the formidable power. You know, in 14, I'm like collecting those crystals non-stop. Like, you just go to a bush or something, yeah, as a botanist, and you just collect it, and it's like no big deal. Oh shit. I also feel a little hyped up right now because like I went through a lot of exposure therapy today, aka just feeling bad, and like I made it through, and so like I'm pretty happy about that. So it was good. It was a good time. Hours of feeling bad, and then realizing I can persevere and I can still continue doing things. It's very empowering to have a very shitty day and realize actually I'm doing fine. This is what I had to do. This is good. Holy shit, they're dying. This is fine. We have a stronger cure. Hang on. Cure. Okay. More. Maybe trunks. Oh shoot. Okay. Well, we'll just try this. Did I save right before? I must have. Damn, bro. Okay, let's do that again. Yeah, let's do it again. Okay, hold up. Let Cynthia... Let Cynthia... Bro! Okay. Trunks. Bring it back. Let's bring it back. Let's try our best. Dang it. Okay. It's fine. I'm gonna focus this time. I have the power of Hello Pandas. Okay, I saved right before. Great. Was I max healed actually? Maybe I should like heal myself more before going into this. Okay, we weren't max healed. Let's use some stuff. This Demon Sai? Yeah. Use all this stuff. I want to see what they do. Juices Wrath. Arctic Wind. Okay. Oh yeah, the Bomb Fragment. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have to prio healing here, Cynthia. Oh shoot! What did Trunky Arctic Wind? Yeah, that hella works. Okay, Cynthia's gonna cure us. Russian Blue, you can use Blizzard. You can use Arctic Wind. Hell yeah. Fuck. Okay, hold up. Yeah, I'm trying to be like also more okay with cursing and stuff because I think I didn't intentionally try to be a goody two shoes, you know, like try like that, but I definitely can see how I always tried to be like a good person, perfect person, and I had a freezing blade. Dang, dude, wait, okay, we're probably gonna die, so I'll try again. But, yeah, it's probably not gonna work out. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna, so what I'll do, I will give someone that sword. And we will heal all the way. And then we'll go from there. Retard. Yeah. Okay. Magic, Cynthia. Cure. Crevice. Was it even that much? I might have wasted that. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, let's see if this is good. Yeah, alright, buddy. I'll just do, should I? Oh, how about Cynthia, you do this one. patient. See, I could start with the cure, but just in case he doesn't attack first, right? Damn, Majin Buu did a bunch of damage. Okay. Nice. Nice. Now Cynthia, you do this. Majin Buu, you did this. Trunks, you did this one. Cynthia, please don't die. Fuck. No. Okay, it's fine. We're gonna bring it back. Maybe I should do that cure at the beginning. See if that just works out. Yeah, man, how much health does he have? Okay. Let's Oh, Trunks and Reptar have the ice helm, but Cynthia and Majin Buu don't. Okay, actually, Cynthia is the only one that doesn't have full health. So we're gonna go into this, and we're just gonna start off with a cure, just to get going, so they don't like die. Dang, dude, you're making me pay attention. Okay, yeah, Trunks doesn't have, like, fire damage is not gonna go well here, so just do this. Seriously, where the aethers at? Oh, thank goodness. I wonder if there's like other stuff I can use. Oh shoot, we did it! We did it! I was stressing. Once again, Cynthia did not get the experience. Maybe that's why she keeps dying too, because she's not getting experience at these boss battles trying to keep everyone else alive. That's what happens when you're responsible for everyone else, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take care of yourself first too. Alright, we'll heal you up. Where is the light? You bestow upon you the power of light kindled within my flames. Gotta work as a team, you guys. Receive a new title from the Fire Crystal. Ranger, Knight, Thief, and Scholar jobs are not available. I'm kind of a bit rigid. We can't just stay the way we are. Okay, I gotta revive. Where's it? You have to help us. I just got back from doing a bunch of stuff. Toku, my beloved home, had nothing left to plunder, so they're putting it to the torch. Please, you have to save us. Didn't I just say that I'm not responsible for, like, causing the entire city to burn down just because I left the stove on? I did not leave the stove on. I didn't cook anything today. That is reassurance thinking. You know what I'm saying? Hein can change his weakness on a whim. However, a scholar would be able to see through. No! I just said I'm rigid and stuck in my ways. I didn't want to switch to a scholar. No! I want to stay a warrior, white mage, black mage, and red mage. No! No! I don't like change. I'm already doing so much personal growth somewhere else. Why I gotta change in a video game, man? Yes. Okay, let's go take care of this. I'll celebrate with you guys, but I don't like it when we're like almost dead, you know? I gotta take care of this stuff first before we celebrate. Also, I gotta go to sleep soon. Got things to do. Yeah, we gotta take some of that. You brought back the horns of ice, the most valuable choice. Thank you. Yeah, I did that. Wait, what did they do exactly for you guys? Like, they're just legendary, right? Or treasures are letting me walk you over. Oh, okay. I totally missed the story. Yeah, wait, so the dude took the horns of ice and got rid of that fire that was blocking the way. Holy moly. I can take all this. I hope you'll make good use of our treasure. Yeah, man. Heroics. Oh, aggressive. Oh, yeah, for the chocobos. Oh, maybe I didn't need to buy all this stuff. Look at this. I'm just like collecting all this. Dude, they're really trying to push this scholar. Ugh. You can have this key as a thank you for retrieving the horns. There's more Gishal if you want them. Magic key? The village of Gishal is on the eastern edge of the continent. It's famous for its sheep and locksmith who lives there. I know the chocobos like to eat Gishal greens. You brought them to yeah. Oh wait, no, that was that one thing. Oh, God, I'm tired. Okay, I did the stuff. Let me give this to the chocobos, at least. Wait, who was the guy who said that his house was on fire? The city? I totally missed that. But let me feed the chocobos. Oh, my ADHD is doing a thing right now. I gotta go to sleep before I start getting more sidetracked. Yeah! Fat chocobo! I know that fat chocobo. I've got a fat chocobo on my desk right now. And I got a fat chocobo in the closet. It's a big plushie. And I got a minion that's a fat chocobo. And I think I got a fat chocobo mount too. Hello. Hello, what do you want? Can you come hang out with us? Oh, you're just selling stuff. Okay. We have this. I don't need this. Okay, so you're just selling stuff. Wait, store? Oh, no, this is stuff we have. Store? Oh, so you're like a retainer. Okay. I don't think I've ever maxed out my inventory though, so do I need to do that? Well, let's see what the situation's like. Cynthia, you're not a scholar. Why are you wearing that stuff? I mean, I guess I can store this, but it's not really been a problem. Seriously, this stuff. Book of Fire. Scholar, no. Wait, these are just like attacks. It's not like healing. So I guess Majin Buu should be the one to switch to Scholar. I don't want to think about it. I'm getting tired. I need to go to sleep. I don't want to think about it. I don't do well with change. It'll be next time's problem. Okay, we did a lot today. I info dumped about OCD and there was like, I fought the dude and then I fought him again. I also fought Medusa. I think I've saved like 4 times now. I think I'm good. Are we good? Yeah. Okay. Out. I'm falling asleep. What's happening? Okay, cool. Sounds good. Goodbye.